Hey everybody, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and NPD by somebody that has both. I'm going to hit you with story time today. Stick with me. I'll try and make it as interesting as possible, but it's story time. Okay. So back in 2018, I used to have a lot more friends than I have right now. And the reason for that is that I fell out with everybody. I split on everybody. You know, when we go from thinking everything is really, really good to being really, really bad. And I did that basically over the period of a couple of months with absolutely pretty much everybody I knew. And some of those falling outs were a little less reasonable than others. They were all a bit very BPD, NPD kind of things that I did, you know, and I took a lot of frustration and anger and pain out on a lot of people that didn't deserve it. So I'll tell you about a friend of mine, who I met through podcasting, which was awesome. I met a lot of people through podcasting. And this person was one, you know, that type of person that you were friends with immediately, right? You know, like you feel like you don't really meet them. They just exist. They're there. And then weren't they always there? Doesn't it feel like that, you know? And one of those people that helps everybody, just wants to be involved in everything, is just super enthusiastic and like the nicest, kindest person you could ever hope to meet. And I managed to manufacture reasons in my head back in 2018 to fall out with my friend. And he'd done nothing, you know, right? The reason that I was so angry with him at the time was because he refused to sort of take my side as such and fall out with people that I'd fallen out with. And, you know, looking back, it was like trying to get Big Bird to go to war. You know, it was like, here's like the sweetest, nicest, gentlest, kindest person who doesn't want to ever fall out with anybody. And I got angry at him for not wanting to fall out with anybody, which is just fucking disgusting. Really. I'm not here to sort of in any way. My point is, I split, right? I'm not here to defend anything I did. I was just horrible, and I fell out with my friend over nothing, over manufactured things, over like why should I expect somebody to anyway, all stupid. And that was back in 2018. Now, since then, I've had therapy, right? And the hardest part of therapy, the most emotionally tough part, is sorting through all the people that you split on, that you are horrible to, all that kind of thing, and coming to terms with the fact that you did some horrible things. You said some horrible things. You did all that, right? And you realize that there is actually a third state of splitting that we don't really talk about. And I don't know why we don't talk about it. It's not as obvious. It's not as obvious. We've got the thinking everything's good and thinking everything's bad. Black and white thinking, two things. It's easy. If we add a third thing into the mix, juggling gets harder. I don't know. Technically, juggling is easier with 3 balls than 2. I can't do either, but that's the thing, apparently. Anyway, there is this third state where it's post-split, where you realize you've done it, you know all the horrible things you said and all the horrible things you did, and you wish you could do something about that. You wish you could at least apologize and let these people know that all those things that you said and did, you didn't mean, and you would do anything to take them back and to have back that time that you've lost with your friends. you know? And you stay stuck in this where you are so ashamed and so guilt ridden with what you said and what you did. But you can't apologize. You can't say sorry. And, you know, in this particular case study, I spent every day since 2018 sort of rehearsing what would I say to him to say sorry. How do you even approach that? How do you even get to that after what I said, after what I did, after how childish and pathetic I was? For no reason. How do you say sorry to somebody for that? Do you expect them to forgive you? Can we expect them to just say, that's all right, mate. Let's forget it and move on? Because I think, you know, on a lot of the cluster Bs, we've got to be prepared for the fact that we've done some stuff that maybe people can't just, you know, they can understand, but they can't, like, forgive it. And that fear of that, like, how do you go to somebody and say, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that. You're a good person and you deserve better in life than me raining down fire on you like I could. And how do you do that? And so I rehearsed that nearly every day, you know. Just that was every time I'm driving in the car on my own, I'm running through this, like, what would I call? Would I send a text? Should I ask a mutual friend if it's all right if I call first? Or what, you know, do you just call somebody out of the blue and say, hi, sorry, I was horrific? How do you approach that? And I got as close last week as last week was as near as I got to doing it ever, because there's still so much shame and guilt around that. And then on then on Saturday, on Saturday, the last few days have been a bit of a blur. I'll be perfectly honest, because on Thursday, no, Friday morning, sorry, Friday. Look, I can't. On Friday morning, I heard that this friend had sadly lost his life in a traffic accident. And I never made that call. And like, what would have been the worst that would have happened? And you know what? He would have said, it's all right, mate. I am still a bit, yeah, well, of course I am. And now I'm left thinking, like, wait, what right do I have to be sad about that? Do not, it's not, it's just, the point of telling you this story isn't to be sad about what's happened. It's about telling you that this is a thing that can happen. It's happened. Right? This is a thing that can happen. And you don't know. And I don't know when it's going to happen. And so, if you have somebody that you need to say sorry to, you should do that now. Because last week I thought I'll do it next week. Right? It's not like I even thought I'm not doing it ever or I'm going to put it off for years. I thought I'll do it next week. And here we are. So, do me a favor and go and do that, would you? I'll see you later. Bye.